I'm with Deputy Gollop in Guernsey on a very sad occasion, memorial service for St John Robilliard, a shining light advocate. What's your feelings about it today, John?
Well, he was certainly a friendly acquaintance of mine. He was my lawyer during a difficult period in my life when I was moving house. He did a good job professionally, as you would expect, but I knew him in other ways as well. I remember once with a former chief minister and one of his relatives, we had a port drinking afternoon, which we relished, and he was full of witticisms. He dressed in a dapper way, but like an eccentric professor, and he often used to threaten me with a genuine the wish to stand himself as a States member for Ireland Parliament and be a deputy, where I think he would have campaigned on issues of truth, morality, freedom, human rights, housing, improvement to our legislation, and many other things.
Yes, I remember when he spoke to me about that, but I think he found a happier location with the Law Commission, or the equivalent, whatever they call it, for a while. I don't know what happened to that.
That's right. He uniquely in his era was both a significant lawyer in Jersey, an advocate in Jersey, and an advocate in Guernsey, and a person of professor status in American terms at an English university, Manchester. He had another string to his bow too, in that he was a leading expert and lecturer on the complicated housing laws of both Jersey and Guernsey, and that is where I first met him, because he would regularly, when he was at Manchester University teaching, would return to Guernsey now and then and give discourses at law seminars or WEA economic seminars on the issues relating to population and
strange enough,
rights.
that's exactly when I first met him, because we sort of jointly worked on his first, he did these studies, one on Guernsey housing law, one on Jersey housing law, and I was looking for somebody to write such things, and his name was given to me, and he willingly volunteered, and he was very glad, and he loved that sort of thing, that sort of challenge.
I think he would have been very interested in the contemporary scene in Jersey and Guernsey, but of course he was part of it. I think he would have been interested in the anti-discrimination laws that Jersey are passing, the policies of Liberate, the pros and cons of a union civil in Guernsey. I think he kept his counsel, I would be fair to say, on his exact feelings towards the population changes in Guernsey law, but he did express opinions that you could trawl through on radio about the rationale behind the Policy Council's change in thinking. I regret now that he didn't become a States member, and I assumed that one day, like his great colleagues Roger Perot and Peter Harwood and maybe Peter Probash, that he would become a States member and give that level of entertainment with erudition and wit
some human rights
to a wider assembly.
Some human rights challenges have come out of that very practice, which I don't know.
Yes, and I didn't know that he was such a global expert in offshore trusts, because that wasn't his first subject, but it shows the depth and breadth of the man, that he could master any brief.
Well, he came to conferences which I was organising in Jersey on human rights, and he loved to speak about human rights. He had a great understanding, far ahead of most lawyers in the Channel Islands. Even now, there's not that great awareness. Human rights issues are not really promoted.
And if I can say something slightly naughty, I have been a member of the State's Legislation and State Select Committee for the last 11 years as President and Vice President and ordinary member, and we have benefited both from politicians, lawyers and non-States members on the committee, including for a while our Treasury Minister Gavin St Pierre. But before I joined the committee in an earlier era, when a member of Warrant Ozan's was chairman, distinguished advocate Rupert Evans. Rupert had, as a non-States member, I believe, advocate St John Robilliard from 2000 to 2004. And when a vacancy emerged in the new committee, because we changed our format for a non-States member, I privately suggested the name of St John Robilliard, and one or two people who shall remain nameless suggested, like another colleague at Ozan's, that he asked too many questions and wanted too much rigorous academic thinking.
It's ironic you should say that, because
and questioning of what perhaps people close to the law officers of the day might have opined, and he would have wanted a fundamental scrutiny of legislation passing to the Assembly, which there might not have been time for. What I'm saying is that perhaps people who have a deep academic knowledge combined with a questioning spirit aren't always that welcome in administrative circles.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of
in
articles.
The past, and it's a many years in the past.
Tied to that, he wrote a lot of articles, he wrote books, and we tried in Jersey whilst he was there during his 8 years of absence from this island. And he was dead keen to write an encyclopedia on Jersey law. He wanted to do it. He might have extended it to Channel Island law. We started to get finance, but the system didn't want it.
No.
They didn't. They weren't supportive. He even wanted to teach Channel Island law in Jersey.
It'd be extremely useful.
He wasn't allowed to do it.
Maybe
he was able to do. Highlands College did put on a historical talk which he gave over a period of years. And strangely enough, a lot of trainee lawyers went to attend that
course. It's a pity he wasn't 20 years younger, because I suspect in the emerging climate of the internet revolution and the need for the Channel Islands to work together more and be more precise as to our jurisprudence and legislative independence. If he was starting his career at this juncture, he would have found, I think, an even more welcoming audience than in fact he received. Although, as we heard today from esteemed colleagues, including our bailiff, he was extremely well respected and venerated.
He was.
Well,
knowledge. I mean, knowledge without. It's obvious a guy knows his subject, and he did know his subject. And he was very liberal. I mean, his views. He was an old-fashioned liberal
party at one point.
An old-fashioned liberal, wasn't he? A great loss, don't you think?
Yes, a great loss to Guernsey, to Jersey, to the Channel Islands, and the wider academic world of law, as well as to his friends, family, and people that he clearly entertained, because I gather on the side he was quite a gourmet, albeit a vegetarian gourmet, and a person who's extremely popular at parties for his wit and his fellowship.
Thank you very much indeed.